Good afternoon, students and parents. Thanks for joining our webinar introduction of our block-based admission program, GIS 2610. In this block-based program, we have 6 majors, including European Studies, Geography, Global and China Studies, Government and International Studies, History, and Sociology. So that means that if you're interested in any one of these majors, you will be enrolled in this JUPAS code GIS 2610, and you receive a block-based training at the first beginning, and then you will ask for apply to one of these majors. So in the coming 45 minutes, my colleagues and I will introduce these programs to you and introduce, we have specific major introductions to you. Okay, so this is this session's schedule. So first of all, we have an overall introduction of the block-based programs. And then in the second part, we have specific major programs introduction. In this session, we will have we will specifically introduce 3 majors, European Studies, Government and International Studies, and Sociology. So after that, we will have introduce the admission requirements, followed by Q&A. So in our block-based programs, we have 6 programs, 6 majors as I introduced earlier. And among the 6 majors, European Studies and Global and China Studies will join the block-based admission from next year, 2022 entry. So after students' arrival after they start their study in this block-based program, they will receive a block-based social science training as a foundation for more advanced studies in the major. They will have opportunity to join different types of advising activities, which will help students to know more about these 6 majors and explore students' real study interest and the capacity among the 6 disciplines. This is also an opportunity for students to have peer support and obtain connection from student societies. So this is the curriculums of our 4-year programs. Students are required to take a total of 128 units, including 4 components: social science common core, major, general education courses, and electives. So you can tell from this table that for 5 majors as shown here, okay, so they have similar allocation of the units. For European Studies, the allocation of units is slightly different from the other 5 because of the uniqueness of the nature of European Studies. It includes intense French or German training. So my colleagues will introduce the details to you later. So before you start your major study, students need to take 1 social science common core, the university core courses like University English and University Chinese, and some general education and 3 elective courses. Here are the 3 social science common core courses, including one course for year 1 student, invitation to social science. So you will receive this course to develop understanding about the nature, basic principles, methodologies, and developments of the social science. And we also have 2 3-unit courses. One focus on off-campus learning opportunity, the other focus on non-local learning experience. So you can choose any one of these 2 courses. We also have a social science internship platform to help students enrolled in the off-campus learning opportunities, which is an important part of the 4-year all-rounded training. We also have different types of scholarships for students who achieve excellency in different areas. So we have social science admission scholarship for outstanding students. For students whose Hong Kong DSE results in 1 sitting satisfy the awarding criteria. So the student will be awarded full tuition fee for 1 year for year 1 study. We also have social science top-up admission scholarship for outstanding students. For students whose Hong Kong DSE results satisfy the awarding criteria of Hong Kong BU Admission Scholarship Scheme for outstanding local student, the student will be awarded a maximum of 10,000 of cash award and a maximum 10,000 of non-local experiential learning grant. We also have other faculty student scholarships to recognize students' performance in different aspects like academic excellence, community actions, and global exchange. So as mentioned earlier, you will first enroll it in the same JUPAS code JS2610, and then you receive a board-based study, and then you will be invited to apply for the majors before year 2. So for students who are interested in global and China studies, geography, government and international studies, histories, and sociology, you'll be invited to apply for the major in mid-June of the first academic year. So that is after the release of examination results of year 1. So in the application, students will prioritize 2 preferred choices among the 5 major programs based on individual preference. For students who are interested in European studies, you will be invited to apply for European studies in the first semester of year 1 by taking the following program requirements into consideration. First, European studies include intense French or German language training. It also includes compulsory whole year 1 academic exchange or professional internships in France, Germany, or Austria. So you will be interviewed by the European Studies program. So if a student success in the application for European study, the student will start the European study major study for the second semester of year 1. Students not admitted into European study major still have the opportunity to prioritize the 2 preferred choices among the other 5 major programs based on their interests in mid-June. So this is the application and timeline that I mentioned earlier for the other 5 majors. So now we come to the second part. So we are very pleased that we have a representative from 3 majors: European studies, government and international studies, and sociology. So they provide more specific introduction on these 3 majors. Now, may I invite Dr. Chen and Mr. Rassi to introduce European studies. Now pass the time to them. Thank you
very much, Dr. Lee. Good afternoon, prospective students and parents. So I am Emily, and my colleague Fabian is going to share his screen, and within 8 minutes, we are going to take you through the features of our program. So first of all, as we say in French, to greet people, we say bonjour.
Und guten Tag. Hallo.
Hello, Fabian. So Fabian, let's start with a few question answers, maybe.
Yes. So Emily, we're going to start with the first question, very important. Who do we actually attract? What kind of students do we attract?
Well, we want students who are interested in learning a new language, particularly German or French. Students who are interested and curious about Europe, contemporary societies, European culture, history, but also political, economic, and social issues. So Fabian, what do we train the students for in our program?
We train our students to function well in attractive academic and also professional careers in the European and Asia relations area, basically. And we would also like our students to contribute well to the Hong Kong role as an East meets West Center for international cultural exchange.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Emily, how do we actually do that?
Well, we do that by providing our students with 2 sets of skills: the hard skills, so basically the language training to become proficient users of a French or German, but also social sciences subjects from history, politics, economy, business studies, and social affairs. And we also train you into soft skills to become effective communicators of cross-cultural interactions and communications. So open graduation, Fabian, what do our graduates do? Where do they go?
Yes, a question not easy to answer within a couple of seconds, but to put it in a nutshell, our graduates are employed in government organizations and non-government organizations, also of course in major international and German and French companies in Europe and also in Hong Kong. Some students decide to pursue master studies, both locally and also in Europe. Let's take a look at our learning path, at our program structure, a very brief look, year 1, year 2, year 3, and year 4. In the first year of your studies, you undergo intensive language training, but you also get basic introduction to certain social sciences areas, such as history, politics, culture, and also social affairs. In your year 2, that we call the focus year, you also undergo intensive language training at a more proficient level, and you receive more advanced knowledge and skills in the same fields, social sciences area. Between your first year and your second year of study, you also have the opportunity to attend summer language courses and culture courses in France and in Germany, which we highly recommend. And when you arrive at year 3, you arrive at your total immersion year. Year 3 is going to be spent in Germany, in France, or in Austria. And you are very autonomous in your choice of partner universities. We have very many attractive partner universities in France, in Germany, and Austria. And you're also very flexible in terms of course choices, in which area you actually specialize. Then you return to Hong Kong in year 4. We welcome you back and you enter your advanced area studies. All your courses are going to be conducted in French and in German. And before graduation, you write an honors project, bachelor thesis, we could say, that is written in French or German. We offer in European studies, we offer plenty of teaching learning activities, both in and outside the classroom. And I would like to go over some, we're not going to mention all of them, but content and language integrated learning. What is content and language integrated learning? First of all, we have small class sizes and we actively practice this CLIL, which is teaching non-language content through a foreign language. Our students have access to a so-called self-access learning unit, which holds a rich collection of French and German media and features student workplaces, multimedia PCs, and even a little movie theater. We are very happy and proud of our e-exchange projects with overseas universities. This is an amazing opportunity for our students to conduct e-projects, especially in the times of the pandemic, in order to foster their language skills and to prepare for language examinations here in Hong Kong. Students are able to attend workshops. The arrow is moving down, by the way, on the left side. I'm sorry about that. There's a picture of our self-access learning unit. Our students also are able to attend workshops, talks, and conferences outside the classroom, and Emily is going to talk about that a little bit in a second. That's why I only want to mention 2 things here. Host families, the European Studies Department or the European Studies Program has a host family project, and this is something where our students are able to meet European families, French or German families, here in Hong Kong for language and cultural exchanges. So a very attractive opportunity. We also want to emphasize our strong links with the local Goethe Institute, the Alliance Française, the German and French consulate, and the EU French and German Chambers of Commerce. Transnational service learning is going to be talked about in a few moments. Talks and conferences. Well, on a regular basis, European Studies welcomes renowned and also emerging artists from various fields of life. And as a European Studies student, you'll be able to talk to writers, film directors, musicians, and cartoonists from the European Union, and also the Greater Bay Area right here on campus and also across exclusive locations in Hong Kong. As far as workshops are concerned, we do not only train our students academically, but we engage them in various We call them cross-cultural learning activities. That means our students get to participate in a number of hands-on workshops, such as EU-style food and wine tasting events. And in this way, they learn to understand the European culture and develop very useful cultural and social soft skills. Emily, please.
Thank you, Fabian. So we continue with the cultural aspects of our program, and beyond the workshops, we also take our students to cultural visits, so various exhibitions throughout the year in Hong Kong. Hong Kong has a wide variety of international arts festivals, and there are always arts exhibitions related to France, Germany, Austria, French and German-speaking countries of Europe, or Europe at large. So we will take you there without any further cost for you. We try as much as possible to take those costs of visits onto us. We also take you to European company visits. There are in Hong Kong thousands of European companies and headquarters for the Asia Pacific regions, and they are in all sorts of industries, and you can see all the various industries represented by the European business sector in Hong Kong and the Greater Bay Area. You not only do the company visit, but you have the opportunity to engage with the company leaders in order to give you an idea of what they are doing, and these career talks prepare you for the professional life before the program. We also indeed help you to curate your own exhibition. You know, it's not only a passive program, we also want our students to create something for themselves, to put that in their portfolio so that you can show on your CV that you were able to create your own exhibition, art exhibition, photo exhibition. This is very nicely looked at on the CV and shows your leadership skills as well. Very important skills in today's world. And finally, we have transnational service learning. So in our university, faculty in particular and program, we want to give back to the community, to the less privileged people in our community. So we partner with European organizations in Hong Kong to give back to the Hong Kong population, but we also take you to Europe and we do service learning in Europe to understand social issues in Europe, giving back also to the underprivileged people in Europe and compare social policy making in Europe and in Hong Kong. So those are the transnational service learning. Last but not least, our European Studies program has two unique double degrees. So it's a 5-year program wherein you spend 2 years overseas instead of just 1. And with 2 years overseas, you can gain not only the Bachelor in European Studies, but also a master degree from an elite university, from liberal arts schools in Bordeaux, Sciences Po Bordeaux, or in Lyon. And with this, we are done with our presentation. So should you have more questions, please scan the QR code, visit our social media links, and also visit our virtual booth. Fabian, any words you want to add?
Thank you very much. That's all. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining. And we'll be happy to see you on campus or in our virtual booth. Thank you.
Thank you. Over to you,
Danke.
Dr. Lee.
Danke. Tschüss.
Cheers.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chen and Mr. Razai. Thanks for the introduction for the European studies. So now may I invite Dr. Chen to introduce your major?
Thank you very much indeed. I hope you can all hear me well.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you very much. I'm going to share screen now. My name is Kenneth Chen. I represent the GIS program and also a program at the GIS department. GIS stands for Government and International Studies. It is a general social science degree, of course, focusing on the study of politics. We all know that politics is all over us, like it or not. Of course, in politics, people used to have a lot of interesting theories, particularly conspiracy theories. However, what we are doing here at the GIS department is to really introduce you to insights and wisdom, evidence-based study with the help of data collection, gathering information, and enhancing our knowledge in the understanding of politics and international relations. So we all know politics matter, but we need to know what it is, how it matters, and why. Some decades ago, an English professor, Bernard Craig, said politics is a distinctive form of rule whereby people act together through institutionalized procedures to resolve differences, to reconcile diverse interests and values, and to make public policies that would actually serve the common purposes of all peoples concerned. Well, it's very idealistic, of course, but it's also grounded on a very realistic foundation whereby we are very different from one another. So therefore, politics matter. Politics is always needed to resolve our differences. Normatively, of course, the study of politics and international relations cannot be properly taught and understood without any moral and normative foundations. Here we go. Our profession has always had strong normative commitments at its foundation, the conviction that peace is preferable to war, freedom to tyranny, justice to injustice, equality to inequality, as well as democracy to authoritarianism. Now here, of course, we have to really figure out all these very apparently controversial concepts, particularly in our situation here in Hong Kong and by and large the People's Republic of China. Some of these concepts might be very interestingly introduced by the authorities of the power that be. You look at the cartoon on the right-hand side. What's democracy? A student answered, democracy is the freedom to elect our own dictators. I hope you agree with me that this is not really a proper definition of democracy. Now, of course, our education, this 4-year GIS program will give you more substance and theoretical as well as scientific debates so as to ascertain what the truth is and how to really spot, recognize, and debunk those falsehoods day in, day out in the reality of politics. Our program is a very solid, I would say very well developed, top-notch, quite similar to most top universities around the world, covering comparative politics. For example, comparing the situation in the US and the UK and the rest of Europe, plus some other Asian countries. We try to bring all these interesting cases together to find out the lessons, what smart lessons we may learn in order to advance a proper public policies for our community, for example. Of course, we focus on international relations and diplomacy. We train our students to have good research skills that are very useful, not just for the education, for the study, but also for the rest of their life. Public administration and public policy and political philosophy. All these pillars are, I would say, indispensable for our education as GIS majors. Having said that, of course, just like all other colleagues would tell you, we love to see our students being active, engaged on campus as much as off campus as well. So I'm not repeating what my 2 other colleagues just told you a moment ago about European studies. Literally, we basically do the same things, encourage students to reach out, and we organized various events. And of course, we love to see multitasking students and multitasking colleagues as well, as far as GIS is concerned. We embrace controversies and arguments. We're all on the same page saying that we can all talk, annoy, and irritate one another from time to time. Just to show you some of the past activities, tours in different parts of the world, particularly the Southeast Asian region. We have a lot of talks and seminars organized. Even during COVID, of course, we would not stop reflecting on challenges that we have commonly faced in the world. We have events happening on campus all year round. And thinking in terms of your future, most of our students, not surprisingly, would like to continue at their education in very fine universities away from Hong Kong. And the GIS program has indeed laid a very strong foundation to our students to continue to pursue higher and more advanced programs. Of course, they are employable, certainly, in government, in international and local non-governmental organizations, in education, as well as in media. In the private sector as well, given the soft skills that we have been able to have our students exposed to, their skills are very much sought after by the private sector as well. Just imagine, of course, we have different debates, arguments, different concerns, and how are we going to bring all these together and in an informed manner to help stakeholders to work out a solution that would be good for most, if not all, those concerned. I think those skills that you are going to experience with the help of the GIS program and the social science faculty in general will stand you in good stead. Last but not least, the social sciences and good governance. I think at the end of the day, we could all agree that we would like to see you being better and better global as well as local citizens. To be able to speak truth to power, to have the courage to manage different challenges in life in general. So I'm afraid that's all the time I've got for a few minutes. Thank you so much. In case you want to come to talk to me, or you want to have me as a takeaway product to come to you, do try to get in touch with me, reach out to us, and very happy to answer further questions. Thank you so much for your kind attention. Over to you, Dr. Lee.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Chen. Now I pass the time to Dr. Leung to introduce sociology. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. Okay, let me share screen with you first. All right. Sorry. Well, hello, everyone. I'm the Chu. Okay, I'm with representative of the social department at Buffalo University to talk to you about sociology and the department and the discipline. Okay, let me start with a picture of the department, of staff of the department. Okay, almost everyone of us is here, the teaching members of the department, also some of the graduate students. Okay, our faces kind of look alike. Okay, but we are actually, trained in different parts of the world, and we have a very different kinds of research interests. So we are actually a very, very diverse department. Okay, and as sociology is not taught, okay, in secondary school. So I would like to begin with, a brief introduction to what sociology is. And let's start with a simple definition. Sociology is the study of social life, social change, and social causes and consequences of human behavior. And sociologists investigate the structure of groups, organizations, and societies, and how people interact within this context. So we're interested in, what keep people apart, like, the Chinese Great Wall should do, but also what bring people together, like the ideas, beliefs, organizations, institutions, okay, that bring people together, okay, on a holiday, okay, on the Great Wall. And the sociological approach, okay, sociologists have distinct approach, okay, to different topics involved in the study of society. And first of all, we aspire to be critical. Well, that doesn't mean that we want to criticize everything, just that, we like to ask questions. And with questions, ideas that are not examined, okay, that are not examined well. So we try to think differently. We try to think, okay, different issues in society, and we try to criticize, okay, everyday, ideas, okay, about life, and we entertain, a diversity of points of view. And sociologists do not just ask questions. We also try to offer answers, and we try to offer an imaginative answers. That's why we try to connect with what people tend to keep, separate, connected, unexpected things in the world. And in a classic book on sociology, with the sociological imagination, the author Sylvia Mills suggests that a key characteristic of the sociological imagination is attempt to connect the personal and the public, or the private and the public. For example, okay, issues like poverty, violence, and anorexia, that is a eating disorder, are usually seen as an individual problems. But from a sociological point of view, these are actually public problems, okay, and can only be understood, okay, in a certain social context. So sociologists will try to see not just the trees, but also the forest. And sociologists are not just interested in, answering questions. Okay, we also try to be engaged. Let's say, try to be in touch and relevant. We try to be down to earth. Okay, so we work with members of the community. We participate, okay, in the transformation of social life, and we take up a variety of roles, okay, in society as sociologists. And what we study, what we learn, okay, are relevant to values, okay, that are important to society. For example, progress, freedom, solidarity, and so forth. Well, sociologists study a wide range of topics. So there are many subfields, okay, in sociology. Okay, we study the environment, okay, the government, aging, urban issues, education, stratification, inequality, community, gender, class, globalization, health, well, politics, organizations, race and ethnicity, migration. Okay, so we study a wide variety of subjects, and we use different methods. Okay, we use quantitative methods like surveys. We also use qualitative methods with interviews and observations. Well, sociologists will study a wide range of things. Okay, in our department, okay, we have our areas of strengths. Okay, we have our specialties in research and teaching. The 4 areas of strength are gender, family, and life course. Okay, as well as the second are social networks and inequalities. And the third is globalization and social change. And the fourth is cultures and identities. Okay, these are areas, okay, around which, okay, we organize our courses and also well, conduct our research projects. And well, apart from teaching on the campus, okay, I define also treasure, okay, learning outside the classroom. So we offer also, well, off-campus learning opportunities. Okay, we have an exchange agreement with the University of the West of England, okay, in Bristol, UK. So students can go there, okay, to take some of their courses, okay. And we participate in the internship program, okay, run by the social science faculty. We organize field trips, okay, so that students can see firsthand, okay, how social life, okay, is organized, okay, in the community. And well, many of you are probably interested in what the kind of things, the kind of jobs like sociology graduates can do after they finish their studies. Well, the simple answer is, okay, sociologists, okay, can take up jobs and pursue careers of, wide variety of fields. Okay, they can take up jobs in the government or non-governmental organizations. They can join the social services or get into education, join disciplinary forces. Okay, join journalism and publishing, tourism, recreational management, and also creative industries, libraries and museums, market research, advertising and public relations, and human resources and personal management, administrative management, and retail management. So there are a wide variety of fields of careers, okay, sociologists can pursue. Now it's a figures, okay, from the latest, okay, graduate employment survey. Now, well, the largest percentage of our graduates go to jobs in administration and management, okay, followed by marketing, sales, and then, okay, some also involved in customer services. So the majority of our, the biggest number of our students, okay, take up jobs in the business sectors, but there are others who take up teaching, okay, in different roles, and also scientific research and, well, statistical work, okay, and then there are others in other kind of services. So you can see that from this, well, figures, okay, sociologists are, well, social students, okay, can get jobs, okay, in a wide variety of fields, and they're trained, okay, with sets of skills that would be useful, okay, in a variety of occupations. And well, apart from regular classroom teaching, okay, the Department of Sociology at Baptist University organizes a lot of scholarly activities, okay, so we organize workshops, symposiums, okay, in which, and also seminars, okay, in which you invite scholars, okay, both for local scholars and scholars from overseas to speak to us, okay, on the research project to pursue and exchange ideas, okay, on different research projects. We also invite prominent members of the community, okay, to speak to us, okay, on the work, okay, that interest or that of interest to sociologists. And we also have a lot of social activities, okay, in which students and staff, we can get together, okay, to well, know each other more, okay, and well, have some fun and develop, well, bonds, okay, among us, okay. So these are pictures, okay, of the different kinds of activities, okay, we organize, okay, in the departments. Well, if you're interested in getting know us more, then well, know more about both the discipline and the department, okay, you're welcome to go to the website of the department, okay, or you can go to our Facebook page, okay, where you can find out what the Department of Sociology at Baptist University is doing these days. All right, I'll end my presentation here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Len.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Now here we come to admission requirement, and this table shows us the general entrance requirements. That is 33223 for core and 2 elective. So this is the general entrance requirement for Hong Kong DSE students through JUPAS. We also have specific minimum entrance requirements. For the first elective, it must be a category A subject, including M1 and M2. And for the second elective, it can be category A subject or other language subject at grade E or above. DSE score is the primary criteria, but at the same time, we also consider other parameters such as those shown here. So this parameter will consider as tiebreaker. For example, we may encounter applicants have the same score, so we use parameters to consider your applications, such as choice banding, DSE English results, etc. So you may take a look at this table. Okay, so about the weightings of the subjects, for most of subjects, we have the same weighting. That's 1, except English. So English have a higher weighting, so that is 2. So because in our program, we value the English proficiency of our applicants. So here, this slide shows the admission scores of the past 4 years from 2018 to 2021. And you can get this information from the AR webpage if you want to know more details. In 2020 and 2021, so this is the mean score of 4 core and 2 electives. Okay, and this is the mean, medium, lower quantile of our enrolled students for your reference. Of course, that we understand that the situation may change year by year, so it's difficult for us to predict what will happen in the coming year. But this is a very important reference for your consideration here. Okay, so we move. Okay, so this is all the information we would like to share with you. Now we come to Q&A. So if you have any question about our block-based admission program, or maybe question about the 6 majors, please feel free to ask question. You can type your question in the chat box, or maybe you also can raise your hand, and then we would invite you to ask question verbally in English or Chinese. Okay, so the floor is open. Please feel free to ask us questions. I understand that you may need some time to type your question. So I would like to share some information that students usually ask but not covered in our PowerPoint. Okay. Okay, I will talk about share the information. First is that about the interview. Some students ask whether we have interview. For most of non-JUPAS students, so most of the JUPAS students, you don't need to have interview, but you come from some particular schemes like principal nomination scheme, 校長推薦計劃, multifaceted excellence scholarship, etc. You'll be invited for an interview. So we have questions in the chat box asking that the opportunity to get enrolled in European studies. This is very specific for a major, but I can tell this is quite uncertain question to answer, but because the situation changes from year on year. But I would like to invite Dr. Chen. Do you have anything to supplement or help the student?
Yes, thank you for your question and interest in European studies. So basically, we will stream you out after the semester 1. So what we look into our students is really their motivations and understanding about our program and its requirements. So whether you will have a big chance to enter the program, I would say that everyone has a big chance as long as everyone can display this motivation. So I'm sure that in due time, you will have your chance to display your skills and motivation in the interview and stream out process. I see another question in the chat room about European studies, so maybe I can take this one as well. The question is about a requirement of GPA for non-JUPAS students. So I understand that you are taking a degree that is not the DSC, and we look at your dossier. So we have different sorts of secondary school examinations, and we look at the dossier whether you come from IB or IGCSE or possibly another type of secondary school exams. We look at them. So we don't have one specific entry points. We have different entry points and different programs. Next question goes to sociology, I believe. Dr. Long, it should be you.
Well, for non-JUPAS, okay, if you are entering non-JUPAS, I mean, for the first year, we couldn't process, and there will be interviews. Okay, but if you are talking about, I mean, final year, I mean, placement, then there may not be an interview. Okay, it depends.
Okay, thank you, Master.
Senior year placement, I mean, joining the program in the third year, that there may not be an interview. But for first year, there will be an interview. Well, in the past years, there will be interviews. So for non-JUPAS students that want to join in the first year.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Learn, for the answer. One student asked whether speak at least basic French or German already before attending the French or German stream. I see Dr. Chen answered in the chat box. Can you elaborate a bit orally?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for this very important question. Most of our students have never learned any French or German, cannot even speak a word when they come to the program, when they join the program in year 1. But we can assure you that by the end of year 2, you will be fluent enough for you to be sent to Europe on your own. So it's intensive learning, but you don't need to have any prior knowledge when you join the program.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Chen. Any other questions? Maybe we have time for 1 or 2 more questions, if any. Okay, we got a question about student applicants from mainland China. So using the Gaokao, okay, the university entrance examinations results, whether it's compulsory. I think this is we have some scheme, particularly a scheme for the mainland students. So I think. Yeah, I don't have the information on hand at this moment. Probably you need to send an email to AL. Okay, so for more details. Okay, you're also welcome to send an email to us in case you don't know how to contact AL. I'm sorry about that, and please feel free to contact us. Okay, so I think that's it. Thank you very much. Thank you for the students and parents. Okay, so we just another question pop up, so maybe we can address this before we close the session. I think this is also for European studies. Why a student asked he or she learned French in school and the level is B2. Is it beneficial for the application? So Dr. Chen, please.
Yes, of course, it's certainly beneficial. So you can join the program with absolutely zero knowledge, and you can join the program with some prior knowledge. And we will look into the case-by-case application. So we can study further to have a personalized pathway into European studies based on your B2 level. So we can talk into this at the time of application, certainly.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Chen. So due to time concern, I have to close this session. I would like to thank students and parents again for your time in attending our webinar. I would also like to thank our speakers today to introduce your majors. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank our support team, Carmen and Kathy, for their support. Okay, thank you very much, and we hope that we will see you on campus in the future. Okay, you'll be one of us. Okay, thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Have a good
Thank you.
weekend.
Thank you.
Au
Goodbye.
revoir, merci.
Bye-bye.